Amelia Earhart, born July 24, 1897, Atchison, Kansas, U.S. disappeared July 2, 1937, near Howland Island, Central Pacific Ocean, was an American aviator, one of the world's most celebrated, who was the first woman to fly solo across the Atlantic Ocean. Her disappearance during a flight around the world in 1937 became an enduring mystery, fueling much speculation. Earhart's father was a railroad lawyer, and her mother came from affluent family while still a child. Earhart displayed an adventurous and independent nature for which she would later become known after the death of her grandparents. The family struggled financially amid her father's alcoholism, and the Earharts moved often as she completed high school in Chicago in 1916. After the mother received her inheritance, Earhart was able to attend the Ognos School in Rydal, Pennsylvania. During a visit to her sister in Canada, Amelia developed an interest in caring for soldiers wounded in World War I. In 1918, she left junior college to become a nurse's aide in Toronto. Amelia Earhart in the cockpit of a Lockheed Electra airplane. After the war, Earhart entered the PRIM program at Columbia University in New York City, but left in 1920 after her parents insisted that she live with them in California. There, she went on her first airplane ride in 1920, an experience that prompted her to take flying lessons. In 1921, she bought her first plane, a Kenner Airster, and 2 years later she earned her pilot's license. In the mid-1920s, Earhart moved to Massachusetts, where she became a social worker at the Denison House, a settlement home for immigrants in Boston. She also continued to pursue her interest in aviation.
Amelia Earhart was an American aviation pioneer. She disappeared over the Pacific Ocean while attempting to become the first female pilot. During her life, Earhart embraced celebrity culture, women's rights, and since her disappearance has become a global culture figure. She was the first female pilot to ever fly across the Atlantic Ocean nonstop. She wrote the best-selling books about her flying experience and was instrumental in the formation of the 99s. Earhart was born and raised in Kansas, and developed a passion for adventure at a young age. She was a member of Purdue University and as an advisor in engineering and a career counselor to female students. She was one of the most inspirational American figures from the late 1920s throughout 1930s. During the attempt to become the first woman to complete circumnavigational flight of the globe, flying a Lockheed Model 10E Electra plane, Earhart and her navigator Fred Nguyen disappeared near Howland Island in the Central Pacific Ocean. These two was last seen on their non-stop adventure at a very small location.
She never reached her 40th birthday, but in her brief life, Amelia Earhart became a record-breaking female aviator whose international fame improved public acceptance of aviation and paved the way for other women in commercial flight. Amelia Mary Earhart was born July 24, 1897 in Atchison, Kansas, to Amy Otis Earhart and Edwin Stanton Earhart, followed in 1899 by her sister Muriel. The family moved from Kansas to Iowa to Minnesota to Illinois, where Earhart graduated from high school. During World War I, she left college to work at a Canadian military hospital, where she met aviators and became intrigued with flying. After the war, Earhart completed a semester at Columbia University, then the University of Southern California. With her first plane ride in 1920, she realized her true passion and began flying lessons with a female aviator, Netta Snock. On her 25th birthday, Earhart purchased a Kenner Airster biplane. She flew it in 1922 when she set the woman's altitude record of 14,000 feet. With flattering family finances, she soon sold the plane. When her parents divorced in 1924, Earhart moved in with her mother and sister to Massachusetts and became a settlement worker at the Denison House in Boston while also flying in air shows. Earhart's life changed dramatically in 1928 when publisher George Huntsman, seeking to expand on public enthusiasm for Charles Lindbergh's transcontinental flight a year earlier, tapped Earhart to become the first woman to cross the Atlantic by plane. She succeeded a bit as a passenger, but when the flight from Newfoundland landed in Wales on June 17, 1928, Earhart became a media sensation and a symbol of what women could achieve.
In 1935, Amelia Earhart was at the height of her celebrity. She had a record-setting solo flight across the Atlantic. She was a published author, a designer of her own fashion line, a character member of 99s, and an outspoken advocate for women. Wood then inspired one of the most famous people in the world to live in West Lafayette and worked for Purdue University. An irresistible opportunity and a charismatic university president. Purdue President Edward Elliott led the university with an eye always looking towards the next giant leap. During his 23-year tenure, enrollment more than doubled. 28 major buildings, including an airport, were constructed, and the university's net worth nearly tripled. Elliott hired Dorothy Stratton in 1933 as the first full-time dean of women students. Construction was complete on Purdue's first women's resident hall, and a record of 800 undergraduate women were attending the university. Unfortunately, a number of these women didn't stay to complete their degrees, and those who did earn a diploma often gave up their careers to get married and start a family. Elliott was concerned, says John Notebook, historian and author of Wings of Their Dreams. Purdue in Flight. He wondered why Purdue was charging women tuition and spending time and money educating them if they weren't going to have careers. Something needed to change. Elliott and Earhart first crossed paths in September 1934 when she addressed the 4th annual Women in the Changing World Conference, sponsored by the New York Herald Tribune. Elliott was at the same conference speaking on the New Frontiers for Youth.